All right. We're gonna fix that real quick. Bear with me while we get the Facebook right. Bear with me, YouTube. It is. All right. We are good now. Um, Pretty sure that the audio is good. Can't even lie. Um, Meant to do this earlier, but I was putting my son to sleep and I fell asleep. Woke up about around 11:20. Found myself I've been in here for like 30 minutes just trying to warm up and get to the point where I feel like this could be presentable, but at the same time I'm tired, so I'm gonna try to get through this. But man, I wanted to publicly give Missy Elliott some appreciation. And I speak on this. The latest time that I spoke on this was I want to say like a month ago. I found out that she wrote all about the Benjamins. So when it comes to the production of Missy Elliott and when it comes to the writing of Missy Elliott, like it's like I'm always every couple of years finding out something that she wrote, and I'm like, man. Um, so today Tank was on the Joe Budden podcast. And I want to start off by playing this because this right here is what led me to want to say this again publicly. Like I said, I say it, I address it in posts from time to time. Talk about how we should love and respect Missy Elliott in hip hop. I've said it over the years. I know another moment in which I said it was with couple of years ago when Busta Rhymes was running around and saying everybody's name. I want to do a versus with this individual versus with that individual, saying that he wanted to do a versus with Mr. Seven Time Felon Ti, but he jumped right over Misdemeanor, Missy Misdemeanor, and when they brought up Missy, he was like, "Oh, we not in the same era." When that's a lie. You was in the same era as Missy. Y'all started around the same time putting out music, and the career stretched around the same amount of time. Busta Rhymes and Ti not the same, not the same era. Busta Rhymes came out with like 94. Really before that, if you talk about the group, but as a solo act, like 94, and then you talking about Ti that came around in 2002, 2003. Come on, man. So he was afraid of Missy, as he should have been. I don't think people understand just who Missy is. If you talk about Missy's solo career alone, she is probably, to me, the most decorated female MC out there. And then on top of it, it's like when we talking about female MCs, we never bring up Missy's name. And it's because she likes to float out there and just be who she is. She's not like she just who she is. But then when you add the writing aspect of it, like I said it again probably about 2 months ago when I saw and I wasn't trying to knock Aaliyah at all. But I did say that Aaliyah was darn lucky, because someone was talking about if Aaliyah had lived, it would have been over with for Beyonce. And I'm like, well, no, they could have coexist. They did coexist at some point in time. And look at what Beyonce has done largely on her own with not being attached to a certain producer. Aaliyah, on the other hand, attached to the greatest songwriter of all time, probably, in R. Kelly, and then to get away from R. Kelly and then go over to the combination of Timbaland and Missy? What? One in a Million? What's the name of the song from Nutty Professor Nutty Professor soundtrack? Is it my goal? Is it your goal? You can't tell nobody. That song, like, I hear those songs and I hear Missy Elliott because she wrote them. So when I saw them giving her her flowers, and also knowing that finding out that Tank did backup vocals on, let's just get into it. Let's get into it.
Can you speak to me about, I heard the story of you doing the ad libs on "I'll Come Over." Yeah. Some of the greatest ad libs. That's the key. I could see, but listening to your story, I could see how you sleep on the opportunity. Like, you just sleep on the importance of these vocals to this record. But now, all of these years later, like, how do you feel today when that comes on and you just hear the part that you may have thought was insignificant to the greatness going on, but it was it contributed. Yeah.
At the moment.
And the genius of that being the bridge, or that just let that rock.
Jonte Austin. It wasn't no genius of my own. We just went to check on Aaliyah. You know what I'm saying? She was down the street recording. Like, let's go check up on baby girl. Walk in, and as soon as I walk in, she said, "Yeah, get in the booth." He's gonna do it.
See, I agree with that stuff. Anybody that's in the session, you at the session. If you have something you can contribute to this song, ain't no head nodding and just, yeah, I think that's fly. Get the fuck in the booth. Let's go do something.
She was that. Like, her and Genuine were like I'm talking about the coldest batteries ever. Like, in between Genuine and Aaliyah, I felt like I could do anything. He's like, you the coldest, nigga. It's gonna go crazy. Yeah, I was, I'm a Genuine, like, valet. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm never leaving you. I'll carry your bags and sing backgrounds forever, sire. Yes. I did not wait to pull me off the road to say, it's your turn now. I said, but I don't need a turn. Right? But they were encouraging, and batteries. No, nigga, you do this and you gonna be that, and then you put this together and then you do that. Them Timbaland, same.
But stop right there, because that's what's interesting to me. Earlier, you said the focus would be on the R&B up tempo. And you talking about the battery that was Aaliyah and Genuine. I don't know you ever working with Missy, but you just getting into Timbaland, and
I worked with Tim once.
What am I missing here?
Like, no, what am I missing? Say that shit again. Missy, Timbaland. Please,
dead ass.
For the love of God,
you sitting around watching Missy give slap after slap.
Missy is slap queen.
Why did that never happen?
6 degrees of separation. You going this way, she's going that way. It's really just that
timing. But y'all both are alive.
Listen.
No, seriously. You heard when Missy won whatever she won, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, she won something big recently. Actually, it's been a few years. When she first popped up on Twitter, I was like, oh shit, that's fucking misdemeanor, niggas. Yes. And then she won some shit. And I'm like, yo, why does Missy not get the credit she deserves? And I asked her one time, in DM, she followed me. And she was just so humble and gracious. She didn't give a fuck about none of that. Yo, as long as what I put into the earth spread. And it was one of those. But she's alive. And if I was an R&B nigga that ever needed a slap, that is the person I'm calling. That's alive, and you alive.
Don't think that I haven't reached. We want her on the pod. I want everything from Missy, everything. And when we see each other, it's love. I'm like an Uber fan, because that Aaliyah album shaped me. That pony. That you know what I'm saying. I'll do anything you want. That all shaped me.
Talk about it.
That is, you know what I'm saying. Missy is her. Period. She just announced this tour. Tickets gone. Tickets gone. Arenas.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Speaking of that tour, notice how earlier I said Busta said everybody's name but Missy. And when they said her name, he was trying to create as much separation as possible on a verses. But you see that he gladly took the right side of her on this tour. Brought the dreads back and everything. Like, yeah, I'm finna get in there with Missy because he knows, he respects. And when it comes to industry people and when it comes to people that really know music, you cannot not respect Missy. So just listen to the reverence that Tank. I like, do you Tank? Just listen to the reverence that Tank gives to Missy, not in hip hop, in R&B. I don't think y'all know just how much music that y'all have loved in the past that has been R&B that Missy gave you. It came from the pen and the mind of Missy.
You got
I want
right.
some, but
Arenas.
You goddamn right.
And you think I wouldn't love to be tapped in to that? Oh my God.
I'm going to Mike Karen. I'm going to somebody at Atlantic to say, put this together for me.
But Missy
Do
is,
it.
But you know,
I know.
Missy is like,
I know. She on some shit.
Missy moving. Missy
I'm chilling
moving.
with mine.
Work when I feel
I'm
like.
chilling with mine.
Like-
Missy is so accomplished to where she don't have to go outside.
At all.
She's one of those, like, remember we used to have
Royalties.
artists that had mystique?
For days.
Yeah.
She still has it.
She's
Yeah.
maintained
She
hers.
has maintained
That's dope.
hers.
Yeah.
She's a star amongst stars.
Yeah, she has maintained hers.
When Missy walk in the room, everybody's like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's Missy.
Yeah.
How famous you are. Oh shit, Missy's here.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
That's dope.
Damn, what would I have to do? I'm getting that. That's fucked up. When people got choices and make them. When people make their own choices.
Hey, listen.
God damn.
Put some of that, what you say, 4.5 million, you was lying earlier.
All right, we out of here. Let's see. I want to pause. So I got this up in StreamYard. And just what I seen, like look at who we're talking about. Like this is Jason Weaver when Jason Weaver is hot as fish grease. This is Lion King Jason Weaver. Then look at the names here: Jodeci, Aaron Hall, 702, Aaliyah. Look at this whole album. People look at this as a classic and love this album. Writing credit. Uncredited writing and vocal arrangement. Writing credit. Come on, man. That same person I was talking about, Busta Rhymes earlier. Genuine. And it was one of these things that I ain't even know. Like just me being a kid that grew up in the 90s, I ain't know that she did the Cousin Skeeter. What? She did the theme song for the Cousin Skeeter? We all love you, man. We love that song, that theme song. And Missy did that. Missy did the Benjamins. Come on, man. Like I really, I'm gonna say this. You're gonna hear me say this every couple of months, and I'm gonna continue to say we need to give this woman the credit that she deserves. Like Missy is really her. Like are you that somebody? That's what I was thinking. Like, and you see that says that she uncredited, but I cannot hear this song and not hear Missy. I know my adult mind, every time I hear this song, I do not hear Aaliyah. I hear Missy. I know for a fact that she wrote this song even before I knew that she wrote this song. I'm like, okay, yeah, Missy wrote that. Now that I'm hearing with my adult ears, Missy wrote that. And then the other person that's sitting beside her in the tour, the other person that's next to her in the tour, Ciara. Like it got to a point where every time Ciara was getting cold a little bit, she go dip in with Missy. Man, come on, man. We really have to give her the appreciation that she deserves. Missy is really her. And when I hear people bring up, top female MCs, um, I hear people bringing up the Laurens of the world. I hear people bringing up the Kims of the world. People bringing up um, the Nickies of the world. I need y'all to stop and just think about it for a second and start bringing her name up a lot more than y'all do. And that's just that is what it is. But I want to jump from one great R&B pen to another great R&B pen and talk about Neo. And I know Neo got some stuff going on right now. I'm not here to talk about that, and I kind of hate that all the stuff that he has going on right now overshadowed the fact that he just dropped a Tiny Desk. Neo just dropped a Tiny Desk. Now, growing up, I was a hip hop kid, and growing up in a time where it just kind of seemed like it was soft to like R&B. So you would like certain R&B songs, but just to be R&B, R&B, R&B. Like when I was a kid in middle school and high school, I wasn't that. But I can sit back and say the one R&B song that I really truly had attachment to and loved early on was "Let Me Love You" by Mario. And it had to be what, 2003, 2004. That was the beginning of my personal R&B journey, and only to get down years later and find the guy that actually penned that song, Neo. And I want to say, in my own words, was it in my own words? I believe that's the name of the album. Let's see here. Just out of curiosity, yeah, in my own words, by Neo. That was the first R&B album that I ever purchased. Now I've had R&B albums before. I won back in the 90s. I used to win uh albums from the radio station, and then I think every kid in the 90s bought the 10 albums from 99 cent. Well, I don't even know how we paid. I don't even know how I got it, but hey, we got them jokers. But I know I won Lauryn Hill, the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill from the radio station, and that was an album that I loved. But this and that right there, that's a mixture. That's a hybrid, hip hop, R&B. But in my own words, is the first R&B album that I bought with my own money, and just love the whole album. Um, I love the whole album. Like, music is a feeling. It's attached to significant events that happen in your life. And I know, as far as like one of my breakup songs is "Let Go" from this album. Um, so when it comes to pens of the 2000s, like Neo has one of the coldest ones. So I said, Mario, "Let Me Love You." He did that in the Tiny Desk. Rihanna, "Take a Bow." He did that in the Tiny Desk. Beyonce, "Irreplaceable." He did that in the Tiny Desk. And like, these are three monumental songs, chart topping songs, and he's the pen of it. So I really wanted to talk about, and I enjoyed the Tiny Desk. Like, you literally, I just respect that you got somebody who has a 30-year career at this point that can't sing. I mean, Neo can, he did what he did at a time in which auto-tune wasn't prevalent, and continued to do that and stay in his, in his own little lane and don't venture far out there. But yeah, I love Neo. I love his work. And the Tiny Desk is dope. Go check it out. So that brings me to this. We're talking about artists. From Missy to Neo These are two individuals that I feel comes from the ilk of Prince. I get on Apple Music today and I see that Prince got a new song out, and I'm like, what? What? Prince? Prince, that old music that Prince had in the vault, Prince had it in the vault for a reason. He never wanted this music to get out there. So I just found that funny that we're dealing with two situations like that within this week. The other situation that's kind of prevalent is Tupac. So Prince, on the other thing, on the other hand, he was very clear with what he wanted out of his music and his departure. Tupac, he departed at a young age. But one of the things that I seen, and I think that is very misleading when it comes to tailor made. One of the things that I saw that kind of stuck out to me, it said that the Tupac estate is unhappy with Drake and with the use of AI and Tupac's voice that really ain't his voice. And come to find out, they send us cease and desist. And the headline that I saw that was kind of troubling to me, they said this is an abuse of Tupac's legacy. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't believe that if Tupac was here, he would have a problem with this. Like, what did what did Drake use Tupac's voice to do that was malicious and would negatively affect his legacy? Like, that's a diss song, but has the estate never hit him up? Like, we ain't even gonna go there, but hit him up is what? Like, that's one of the most vicious hip hop diss songs of all time, and we're talking about Taylor Made. That's odd to me. And then I find out that Afeni is no longer with us, and Pac doesn't have children. So who is over the estate? Let's go see. Let's see here. Pull this back up. I am just gonna put it in here because I don't want to dox my search. Let's say who is over the Tupac estate. Who controls Tom Wiley? Okay. Okay. Who controls the Tupac estate? Tom Wiley took over the role of the executor of the Tupac Shakur estate after the death of his mother, Afeni Shakur, back in 2016. Wiley is the former head of Warner Brothers Records. Back in 1989, he was working for Interscope and had signed a young Tupac to the label. So that's interesting. Someone, a former label head, is now in control. So I don't know. It's a lot that could be assumed with this. It's a lot that could be gathered with this. I'm not going to go to conspiracy land, but that's interesting. That's very interesting. But I do want to kind of tackle it's a couple of things I want to talk about with this. Like, just the backlash of this Taylor Made. So Drake has taken the song down, And I really like people say, let's see, I want to pull something else up. Let's go back to Wiki. And let's pull up Tupac. So let's see. Let's go to early life section. So I keep seeing people say, and I've been wanting to say this for weeks. I keep people not weeks, whenever the Taylor Made came out, seeing people say that he that the West Coast was kind of mad at Drake for using Pac's voice. And I'm like, that's kind of crazy. Why? Like, I understand that at times in his career, he claimed West Side. He claimed California. He made California love, and I don't want to diminish the fact that he lived in California for just a short period of time, because a lot happened for him in California. I mean, when he was in let's see, where is it? He was born New York City, and then from there, I don't see it on here, but from there he moved to Baltimore, and then in where is it at? Okay, yeah, relocated to Baltimore, 1984, and then to San Francisco Bay Area in 1988. And then we go over here and we see the years that Tupac was active. Tupac became active in 1989. He met Digital Underground. I don't know, does it say that in here? But yeah, that's what. And I'm guessing this is around the time that the Wiley Gentleman came into play. So, with that being the case, like, you're talking about a couple of years, like, and I don't think that Pac was living in Cali around the time that he died, and a good portion of the time in which we know Pac, I think he was living in Atlanta most of that time. So you're talking about a couple of years, like, literally, for them to be mad at Drake. Drake probably lived in California longer than Tupac did. Like, for the I want to say that the the majority of last decade, Drake lived in L.A. until he got his house built in Toronto. So with that being the case, it's like I don't understand that. Um, I mean, to each his own. Somebody might correct me on the on the situation, but when it comes to Tupac, like Tupac, oh, I don't have. Yeah, I do got it. When it comes to Tupac, like Tupac was one of them people that kind of belonged to everybody. But East Coast, West Coast beef at the time. At the time of his demise, I can kind of understand it to an extent. But hey, it is what it is. It's just that this whole situation is weird to me. Seeing how people and this goes to the next thing, and this is one of the reasons why I say, if you wanted to be have conspiracy brain, and Drake knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing, using the likeness of Tupac and the likeness of Snoop to get at that. But I'm going to continue to say publicly until, and I want to be clear. I want to clean it up and say that I love Kendrick. I think that Kendrick has, arguably, him and Kanye have the best 3 first album runs. And I was publicly, on the last live stream that we did, I publicly, let me get out of this. I publicly trashed his last album, but honestly, I thought that Kendrick was due for a bad album, due for a mid album. But I'm starting to realize that Kendrick fans are like stans, because I'm a Kendrick fan, but Kendrick stans are something else. Like, I put clips up today from the last live stream, and I was met with surprise. All of the people talking about Kendrick, and like, it's I will continue to bring up the like. I saw something earlier. Someone was saying that Kendrick has effectively become the first person to make two rappers delete diss songs. And that's like, y'all continue to like big Kendrick up as if he's this boogeyman when Kendrick has yet to come outside. Like, I'm just using rapper brain here. And I have a friend that has rapped pretty much our whole life. And I remember when he got into a beef and just how quickly his turnaround was. And he's not a rapper by profession, but how quickly he returned. And we're talking about Kendrick supposed to be a part of the big three, arguably the best rapper in our generation. Like all of them, all of the three lay claim today, even though I think, that numbers wise and all else included, you had to give it to Drake. But Kendrick has something to say about that. And his fans have something to say about his position in that too. But I don't think, where is he at? I don't think his fans are treating this in the manner in which we're supposed to. And the first thing that they always jump to is that, okay, but Drake took so long to respond. Kendrick, the difference is that Kendrick knew, and I'm not making excuses for Drake. I'm just calling it how I see it. Kendrick knew at the time of land like that. Like he has been baiting Drake for over 10 years at this point. But this was the most vicious and open. Like this was not just a line. What was the line? And nothing was the same since I dropped control and tucked the sensitive rapper back in his pajama clothes. Like that was just a line, just a quick hit and out of there. Like that was continuous, that like to where you knew for a fact that you are talking to Drake. The world knows that you are talking to Drake. Drake knows that you're talking to Drake in a manner in which he knows that he's gonna have to respond. For all your dogs getting buried, like what's the name of the album? For all the dogs. Drake been running around here calling himself Mike Jack for the longest. Michael Jackson, because he's about to replace him on Billboard, and then all of a sudden you come up here and say Prince outlived Mike Jack. Like, all ain't no big three, it's just big me. Like these are things that you knew was gonna warrant a response. So I'm thinking if you jump out the window like that, you're prepared. And I do believe that Kendrick was prepared. This is one of the things that I said, this is the genius of Drake. And this is one of the reasons why I wouldn't have never got into it. I wouldn't have, like, you don't want that. Like Drake is like on his like fifth cancellation, should have been ejected out of hip hop for a crime committed against hip hop. But he just keeps staying there. Like he just will not go away. He's Teflon. Why would you ever want to get into it with somebody that's Teflon? You are the one that has something to lose because we ain't never seen you in this position before. So when Drake dropped push-ups, he put some strategic things in here. And I was telling y'all that he put some strategic things in there that if Kendrick had a song ready to go, you got to go back to the drawing board and you have to address some of the things that were said in this song. And then before you can effectively do that, I'm right back at you. And see, some of the narratives that Drake has painted, I don't necessarily know if it's true, but if the narratives are correct, you moved out of the way. Like, I kind of get some stuff. Like Drake, first of all, Drake was on tour. Secondly, y'all start shooting at me with this, we don't trust you. So Future and Metro was supposed to drop the next week. They moved out of the way for Beyonce. I understand that. So now I'm still waiting. And then they should have dropped the week after that. But then that's when they dropped the trailer for it. And I think that they probably moved out of the way for J. Cole. And then we get them the third week. Not the third week. So 2 weeks later. And literally right after the album drop, and I've recognized that, oh, they not shooting at me. The only person that's shooting at me is Rocky, and we ain't even worry about that. He dropped push-ups. So at this point in time, like, where's Kendrick? I'm gonna keep saying it, and I did say something on the last live stream that I do want to walk back. I said that I don't want for him to wait so long and under deliver like what I thought he did with that album. He waited 5 years to give that. And so many other people keep saying that I'm not developed enough, that I haven't lived enough. And that's what I really wanted to address. I really wanted to pull some of the comments out and address some of the things that has been said to me today, but I'm not even gonna do that. We're not doing that. But I just want to let you know that I've had my hip hop card intact since like 1994. You're not gonna play that game with me and try to say that I don't like. I recognize we did a lyric breakdown where so many people are just trying to say, "Oh, push-ups wasn't that," and I'm like, no. Y'all, a lot of that stuff went right over your head. I understood everything that Kendrick was doing with Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. I just didn't like it, and that's okay. Like, you got so much music on that I will never go back and listen to the song. Well, it's a song where he was hollering, him and old girl was hollering. I will never listen to that song again. And I will say that, I mean, it's cool, but I will never listen to it again. That's what music is. I'm supposed to be motivated to go back and listen to it and live with this music. I was not motivated to listen to that. Like, you got songs from the album that I go back to, but I don't think that his diss is gonna be like that. But what I'm saying is that as time goes by, I think we get to the point where we don't want the music, and regardless of how good, how high quality the music is, it's gonna be considered an L. Now, I don't think that his stands are gonna fight fair, and it seems like people and I saw a lot of people in there um I saw people in there defending me, and I don't know, they might be Drake stands, but somebody said something that, Drake said in Push Up, they make excuses for them because they hate to see me lit. That's what it looked like. You want your guy to be number one, and you keep making excuses for him because people sit back there and say that Drake waited 3 weeks. Well, we're past that 3 week point tomorrow with Kendrick. So you mean to tell me that Kendrick, like, if that's what you're holding on to, that means that Kendrick got to come tomorrow, and if not, then that just the time limit has elapsed on the bull that you've been feeding people. Like, at some point in time, you just have to hold Kendrick's foot to the fire and say, bro, where you at? Like, don't do that industry stuff and try to pop out on a Friday so that it can chart. Like, if this is what it is and this is what you wanted, like, put it out. But anywho, I digress. Get out my keep commenting because I don't make money off this. But if y'all keep commenting, comment in the right spots. People keep coming in the and they talking in the in reels and short form content. Come in here. Run it up in here. But anywho, I got one more last thing that I want to talk about, and then I'm out of here. Y'all know I do not care for Doc Rivers. I feel as if he is someone that just keep getting opportunity after opportunity, but he lacks the merit to make me accept the opportunities that he keeps giving. Like the man is living with one championship with a team that I could have won a championship coaching. Like you got Rajon Rondo that literally has one of the best basketball minds of the last 20, 30 years. You got Ray Allen, the second best shooter of all time to this point, behind Steph Curry, but at the time was the first best shooter of all time. Then you got KG and Truth. Like you're gonna win a championship. You're gonna compete for championships. I could have won a championship coaching them, and I don't know nearly as much about basketball as Doc Rivers. But this man just continues to get a job. Like I was talking the other day, I can't think of his name, Dwayne Casey. Dwayne Casey. I was talking about how LeBron got that man fired after being coach of the year. Like coach of the year, LeBron got this man fired because he just could not get over the Cleveland hump. And that was expected at the time. But that man had a short leash. But Doc just continues to get a leash after leash after leash with organization after organization after organization. So it already bothers me that he comes off as this great coach. But then I'm on YouTube earlier and I see an ad for FX created a series around the Donald Sterling story and how he got his team pulled from him, and to see who they have playing Doc Rivers made me mad. Made me mad. They have royalty playing Doc Rivers. Laurence Fishburne. Laurence Fishburne from Boys in the Hood, from Higher Learning, from The Matrix, from John Wick, from What's Love Got to Do with It? Laurence Fishburne playing Doc Rivers. And I can't even lie. Older Laurence Fishburne, it look about the part. I'm not mad at the look of it. I'm just mad that this man got great Laurence Fishburne to play. Am I hating? I don't care. He got great Laurence Fishburne to play him in this limited series. I'm sick of oh man, I'm sick of like literally. And I will say that the Bucks are getting what they deserve. Like, but in NBA playoffs, they looking pretty good without Giannis. They are I think they up 3-0. Let's look. No, I'm gonna pull it up. You know what? We finna get out of here anyway. This is our last topic, so why not? Let's pull up NBA playoffs, and I give a quick synopsis. The Lakers dead. We'll see tomorrow if we dead. I'm really mad at our team because we should be trying to push stuff as far out as push this series as far out as possible so that we can get Zion back. And we had a winnable game. We had a winnable game on the table. We could have won game one. Got blown off the court game two. But we had a winnable game one. And same thing with the Lakers. They could have won. What was that, game one or game two? Game two, they had out. They were there. So yeah, it's time to go to bed. No, the Bucks are down. Yeah, I did see what Indiana won tonight. So in the overtime, I want to say. But yeah, so they down 2-1 without down 2-1 without Giannis, and they finna wind up being, and they should have enough even without Giannis to beat the Pacers, but they finna get a first round exit, and then at that point in time, I think that Giannis may take his ball, his brother, and try to head to another team, force a trade. No, we'll see. But yeah, I said it at the time that if it wasn't the answer, they should try to stick it out with old boy, the first coach, because he was doing way better than Doc Rivers has done since he took over. Heat and Celtics, interesting. I saw that the Heat had won, but it just didn't register. I forgot that they was playing the Celtics. I haven't really been paying attention to the East. I've been watching more of the Western games because those are later games. This Cavaliers, that's expected. Knicks, this is pretty interesting, but to an extent, I mean that's kind of expected too. Jalen Brunson is a baller. I hate to say it, like I thought this would have been a gentleman sweep. They'll probably still get game 2. What time we play tomorrow? Oh, we play at 3:30. Man, I'll be at work. That's crazy. I had to take a lunch around that time. Clippers, they played tonight. Dallas won again. I've enjoyed looking at this series right here. This has been a good series. I didn't watch the game tonight because I fell asleep, but I watched I watched game 2 and game 1, and it looks like the Mavs are finally finna get over the Clippers hump because they've been Achilles heel in the playoffs. But yeah, I can't really get my real thoughts how I feel about this situation right here, but it look like they finna get swept. I don't know what's going on over there in Phoenix. It just seems like it's a whole bunch of people checked out. I didn't want to go just for the sake of Devin Booker. I didn't want to call it out, but before the season ended, like I was so like confused when I saw that y'all are in the middle of a playoff hunt. Y'all trying to make the playoffs, and y'all are getting beat by the Clippers, and you got literally 1 minute left in the game in the quarter, and y'all have only scored 4 points, and one person got those 4 points, and it's a scrub, Drew Eubanks. I ain't gonna say he's a scrub, but like compared to the offensive talent that they got on the team, he's a scrub. Kevin Durant, one of the best scorers of all time. One could say the same thing about Devin Booker. There's no reason that you should go almost 12 minutes and neither one of them can get you a bucket. That right there showed me all the problems that I needed to, that showed me everything that I needed to see going forward in the playoffs. I'm like, they don't have a chance. Like, it's a lot of teams that I looked at going into the playoffs, like, they don't have a chance. Suns is one of them. Lakers, I'm not going to say the Lakers was one of them. It depended on matchup, and they ended up getting the Nuggets. So, against the Nuggets, I didn't think they had a chance. Believe it or not, with my team, I got to the point where I thought that we didn't have a chance. Had we stayed in 6 and gone in Minnesota, out of that cluster in the fight for 1, I wanted Minnesota out of the 3. I felt like it was the weakest out of the 3. We dodged getting beat by the Lakers. We dodged the Nuggets, so we end up with the second team in which I thought, that they are hateable. But I mean, it don't look good. We should have won. They should have won game 1. went ahead and put the odds in your favor and extend the series so that you can get Zion back. Because if you get Zion back, then it's a conversation. Like the fact that we were in game one as much as we were against the first seed lets you know that it's a conversation already. Because Brandon Ingram coming off an injury, he's not himself. But he's trying to work back to being himself in the playoffs. That's not you can't hang your hat on that. Now, if this was, um, peak season, Brandon Ingram, then I think he can go out there and get it for us. But this man is just now coming back. We need Zion. we really need we need Zion. So hopefully we win tomorrow. Tomorrow will determine if I think we dead or not. But I can say this: we play better on the road than we play at home. Tomorrow's a home game. We lost 2 road games. It might be over for us, but we'll see. We shall see. And with that, man, I think that I'm about to get up out of here. 51 minutes me talking by myself. No, I actually kind of enjoy these late night ones where it ain't nobody commenting, and I don't I would love someone to comment because that's conversation, and I don't have anyone in here. But hey, it is what it is. So I kind of like these where I get to just sit back and talk, and it's a challenge for me. So hopefully the content was compelling. We go get some short form content out of it. But it's just something that I wanted to do because I had some thoughts. I wanted to really get that Missy appreciation out there because, like, man, I just don't think that she's appreciated enough. So I wanted to get that out, and there are some things that I wanted to get out while it was still relevant. So it was necessary that I did it today. But I think that's it. And if it's not, then I will see y'all later on this weekend. If not, then I'll be back with the guys on Monday. But, yep. All right. Well, I'll let you good people later.